Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be heading up to Albermarle, North Carolina. Stanley County is the airport. It's a Class Delta. We haven't been up to a towered airport in a little while, so let's check it out and see what happens. Skies are starting to clear up a little bit today. The skies were pretty crappy earlier today. We'll have to see what happens. Hopefully we can make it. Looks like the forecast is for good clouds, good skies all the way up. We're looking at about 3,500 feet. It's only about a 33-mile trip from Monroe to Albemarle. Should be a pretty short trip. Hopefully we'll just enjoy it and have a good time. So we'll see you up there.
All right, welcome in. We're going to do another trip. This one's going to be to Albermarle, North Carolina, Stanley County Airport. Class Delta, like I said earlier. Should be a pretty short trip, about 33 minutes or so, give or take. Excuse me, 33 miles, about 20 minutes. Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 61805, departing runway 23. We'll be departing the pattern to the east off the downwind, Monroe. Monroe traffic, Skyhawk 61805 is downwind. We'll be departing the area downwind to the east, Monroe. We're also going to be doing a little bit of autopilot practice this time. Not going to get much above 2,500 on this one, it looks like. Alright. Coming up, autopilot on, hello. Why is the autopilot not working?
The autopilot button on the MFT was not working, but the PFD button was. It took a little bit to figure out how to get around the problem, but eventually I got the autopilot working.
Alright, we're going to set the range barometer comm. Where's my altitude? There it is. We're going to set 2,500. First we're going to go nav. Nav is set. We're going to go altitude. And nose down just a smidge. Oh, vertical speed, nose down. There we go. Watch the temp. Alright. So we got the autopilot on, set to nav to go to Stanley County, 28 miles away. Welcome back. This flight is our first in our series of going to specific airports, around the Charlotte airport area, or the Charlotte area. We're going to start off with some of the ones that are closer to the Monroe airport, a little bit closer, a little bit easier to access. In this case, I needed a little bit of practice on my tower operations, so we're going to go into Albermarle. It's about, like I said, 30 miles away, Class Delta, just a small little towered airport, not too far away. Should be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Once we get there, we're going to take a look at the facilities. We'll land, check things out. Hopefully I don't futz things up too much on the radio calls. It's been probably about a year and a half since I've been to a Class D. I took a small break off of flying. Now I'm back into it, of course. I used to fly out of the Concord airport here in Charlotte. Wasn't too bad, got a lot of tower experience, which was very helpful. I did all my training at a non-towered airport. I fly out of a non-towered airport. So every once in a while, I want to make sure that I get back into the towered operations. You can get very complacent very quickly going non-towered, just using CTAF and radio calls. So we want to make sure we keep that up to date. Still nothing.
At this point, I had not picked up the weather signal from Stanley County yet. A little odd considering it was a towered airport.
We'll just leave it there for a few minutes and see what happens.
Started checking through my notes and ForeFlight to make sure I was on the right frequency. For a Class Delta, you have to pick up the weather before contacting the tower.
Wind variable at 03. Visibility 10.
Still not picking it up. 128.175. I'm not picking up anything from these guys. Alright. Can't go into their Class Delta in 4 miles, so we are going to turn and figure out what the heck's going on.
Of course, the moment I started turning away from the Class Delta, their weather popped up on the radio.
2.16 altimeter 299 feet, remark. Density altitude.
Apparently you gotta get really close to them.
Since the weather was an automated AWOS, I decided just to call the tower before I entered their airspace, just to see what would happen.
Stanley County Tower, Skyhawk 61805.
Skyhawk 61805, Stanley Tower, runway 22 in use, altimeter 29908, safe position and request.
Weather up to
As Skyhawk 61805 is 8 miles to the west, inbound to land.
10, ceiling 3,200.
Shark 805, roger. Be advised we'll be closing in about 1 minute, but you can still proceed inbound. The airspace will just be uncontrolled.
Altimeter 299.
61805, understood. Thank you much.
1,800.
My confusion at this point was pretty real. The tower information in ForeFlight indicated a 6:30 p.m. closing. It was only 5:30. Had to switch out of the tower mode that I was currently in and switch back to an uncontrolled mode. So much for my tower practice.
Attention all aircraft and vehicles, Stanley County Tower is closing at this time. Runway and taxi at pilot control on 126.275. For additional information, contact Charlotte Approach 128.32.
1,000.
Have a good night.
You too.
Stanley County traffic, Skyhawk 61805. Final for runway 22 left, full stop landing. Stanley County. Excellent, excellent job.
On the ground, I noticed my next issue. The terminal appeared to be closed. A large gate was pulled across the main entrance. The terminal was set to close at 6 p.m., but I was on the ground at least 15 minutes prior to that. It took a few seconds to decide what to do. I had noticed a few other aircraft near a different building that looked like a flight school off to the right. I decided to head over there to see if anyone was around to ask some questions.
Stanley traffic, this is Skyhawk 7941 Golf at 22 left. Taking off 22 left, gonna stay in the pattern.
Alright, we are here. Strange, but we'll see what happens. Alright.
All right, gang, so we're here on the ground in Albermarle, Stanley County. Oddly enough, the tower closed just as we were coming in. And you'll probably hear on the radio in the playback that the tower closed just as we were coming in. Well, not only did the tower close, but also the terminal closed. So unfortunately, we were not able to get in. Terminal's right there behind us. We were unable to get into the terminal. However, there is a really nice flight school right over here. I forget the name of it, I'll look it up. Basically, I was able to go over there. The gentleman was able to let me in, no problem. And I was able to get some bio break, I guess you could say. Otherwise, the airport is very, very sparsely populated. It's a very large airport, Class D, without a whole lot of activity. So the terminal is there. I'm assuming that's where we would normally see activity. The control tower is located on the other side of the ramp, and from what I understand, it is actually a military control tower. I believe this has a guard base or something like that associated with it, so there may be a small military presence here as well. So otherwise, I think it was a reasonable flight. We're going to head back over to Monroe now, hop on a plane, and we'll check things out as we go. Not much to see here, unfortunately. No linemen, no servicing, no nothing. But like I said, the flight school, they're top notch. So kudos to those guys. Otherwise, not much to see here. If you do happen to come here past 6, it was actually 5:30 when the tower closed and the terminal. So if you come in here by past 5:30, just know that, well, you're stuck for the night. There might be services after hours, but they're probably going to charge you a pretty penny to get it. So make sure to plan ahead and plan accordingly as you come into here.
Albermarle traffic, Skyhawk 61805, taxiing from the ramp over to runway 22 left, Albermarle. Stanley County traffic, Skyhawk 61805 will be departing runway 22 left, departing straight out to the west. Stanley County.
Stanley County traffic, left base, 22 left, 7941 Golf, Stanley County traffic.
That's funny. Yeah, but I was like once like that too. That's too funny. Traffic Skyhawk 61805 crossing midfield 2500. We'll be entering the pattern downwind for runway 23, Monroe.
So an interesting trip with some unexpected results. I have to plan more of these trips during the day or even on the weekends to ensure that the facilities are open. Regardless, I'll take any reason to get up in the air and have some fun. Now let's take a look at how our ratings came out for this trip. Airport facilities will be an NA since nothing was open when we arrived. ATC is on a D+. They closed the tower earlier than published. Not a huge deal, but it was unexpected. A Class D tower should also have a better weather transmitter than to pick up the broadcast at the edge of their airspace. The services also an NA since they were also closed and not available. And finally, a special shout out to the folks at Presley Aviation who were gracious enough to allow me the use of their facilities and for a really pleasant aviation conversation. My final grade for Stanley County will be an incomplete. I may come back to the airport another day when the facilities are open to see what they have in store for us. That's it for now. Please feel free to subscribe to get notified of my next airport review. Thanks for watching.
And that's all she wrote. Thanks for flying. We'll have a see you next time.